comparison is also very important,
Mhm.
you know? But hindi sobra. Dapat kino-compare mo yung sarili mo. You get that information and you be contented with yourself. Be contented with yourself. Tapos, learn from that, you know? Dapat, ganun. Parang ini-improve mo rin yung sarili mo. It's very important to try. Always. But I guess it's very important to allocate your energy as well, you know? Hindi lahat ng bagay is I guess it's a hard truth, no? Hindi lahat ng bagay is para sa iyo. And that's something na I'm also learning sa everyday life ko and all of that. You know, hindi lahat ng bagay para sa iyo. But I guess for me, how I think about it is yung mga bagay na para sa akin, it seems like parang gumagawa ng paraan yung mundo para I will be able to try. I'm just a person who tries. I just try what's in front of me. I just take the opportunity that's on my table. And right now, even when I play as Algorex, when I present myself as such, at the end of the day, yung mannerisms ni Daniel Bagaformier, all the opportunities that's given to me, I make sure that those, hindi sila parang, they're not taken for granted of. They were there for a reason.
Welcome sa Good to Live Podcast. Kung hindi nyo pa napapanood o napapakinggan yung iba't ibang episodes, available sa YouTube, Spotify, at Apple Podcasts. At meron na ring website, goodtolivepodcast.com. Ngayon, makakasama natin ng isang AI builder, educator, and community leader na kilala rin online bilang Algorex. Pag-uusapan natin ang journey niya mula esports at competitive programming hanggang artificial intelligence, teaching at building projects with purpose. At para mas makilala natin siya, please welcome to Good to Live Podcast, Sir Daniel Bagaformier. Sir, thank you po.
Thank you so much.
Opo. Thank you sa opportunity na to na kasama ko po kayo at sir, sobrang bilis. Sobrang bilis po. At hindi ko po talaga in-expect, no? Mapapodcast ko po kayo, sir. Parang hanggang ngayon nananaginip pa rin ako. Sobrang, sir, thank you po talaga.
It's meant to be.
Opo. Grabe kasama ko na si Sir Dan. Sir, kamusta po kayo recently, sir?
Yeah, I'm good. Ang daming nangyayari. And nakikita naman online, right? So, I've been building a lot sa BYC, as well as my own personal projects and other hackathons. So, we can talk about those things.
Oo nga po pala. Si Sir Dan is Director of
AI
ng
BYC Ventures.
So, paano po kayo napasok po ng BYC Ventures?
I guess it goes back when mga 2024. There was this event called Blockchain Campus Conference. So that was like an initiative na parang yung blockchain technology tinuturo sa mga students, because you know what's the problem sa blockchain? Sa blockchain, wala tayong courses for students, kunyari sa high school, sa college, hindi to tinuturo. Makikita mo lang siya online. And maybe sa YouTube or maybe through scam messages. So that's parang yun yung unang nakikita pag blockchain. Hindi siya naririnig sa school. And I guess that's a very big problem sa industry ng blockchain as of the moment, because it's very new and it has a very parang very widespread yung yung usage niya. Merong ginagamit for games, merong ginagamit for public documents and stuff like that. But sometimes it's also used for scams, unfortunately. So how do we get ahead of those people? You know? We do these events. So back then, parang estudyante lang din ako.
Opo.
And in-invite ako to speak at that event because I was like an AI engineer na back then, and more on freelancing lang talaga ako.
Mhm.
So, at those moments in time, I had no experience sa blockchain.
Hmm.
No experience at all. But I do have experience sa AI.
Mhm.
So, it was quite scary din for me. Nagsispeak ako sa event na hindi ko talaga alam. So, yes, di ba?
Opo.
Parang bakit ako nandun? No? Bakit ako nandun?
Hmm.
Bakit ako nandun? So, of course, ko na lang, inisip ko na lang, I do know a little bit about blockchain, but I never developed using blockchain. So, yun. Ginamit ko na lang yung parang industry knowledge ko for AI and how I can see the future of AI and blockchain together. That was when doon ko na meet si Boss Paul Soliman.
Hmm.
So, si Boss Paul Soliman, of course, din siya, educator din siya ng blockchain and naging idol ko talaga yon kasi nung time na yon, siya yung MVP ng Microsoft.
Hmm.
So, he's like the biggest, mga top dog talaga sa industry. And even ngayon, no? Innovators talaga for blockchain, for even AI, idol ko talaga yun. So, yun, nakita ko siya, nagsispeak siya. Lumapit ako sa kanya after the, parang speaking engagement niya. And I asked like, maybe kailangan nyo ng AI engineer sa BYC. And yeah, that's it. I got hired like a week after.
Bilis.
So, ayun. I learned a lot sa BYC and 2 years later, I'm still here. Lumaki na ako and of course, yung mga natutunan ko, I also try to teach it sa community. So, yeah. It's something like that.
Galing. Tingin niyo po, sir, importante ba na ma-implement sa education yung blockchain para
Mhm.
magkaroon ng knowledge ang lahat ng tao about sa blockchain, sir?
Yeah. So, ngayon sa Pilipinas, I guess it's a recurring problem na talaga sa tech, no? Madaming bagong technologies out there na nakikita mo lang online.
Mhm.
Mga research lang siya. And yung mga taga-ibang bansa, sila, up to date sila. Nai-implement nila agad. They know all the ins and outs of it. Pero dito sa Pinas, I guess, very slow tayo in terms of adoption. Not just for blockchain, also AI. Hindi lang blockchain, also AI. Sometimes even IoT. Mga yung mga robots, yung mga robotics, right? So, there's not much courses out there to parang entice students to learn more. So, how do students learn about it or how do people know about it? Usually, ako, kunyari, nalalaman ko lang to through LinkedIn. Nagsiscroll lang ako lagi sa LinkedIn, nagsiscroll ako lagi sa GitHub, and sometimes sa X, sa Twitter. So, it's all about optimizing your algorithm talaga. Para yung nagpa-pop up sa screen mo, yung latest talaga. So, mga ganun talaga, I guess, right now. And, sometimes, ganun din ako natuto. So, nung time ko, nung nag-freelance ako sa AI, never ko natutunan yon sa school.
Mhm.
Online lang siya. So, how I did it was like YouTube videos. So, I can, masasabi ko sa sarili ko, isa akong parang self-taught na developer. If kung magiging web developer ako, I can do that. Pwede ako mag-aral sa school and I'll be a good web developer. But kunyari, AI engineer, blockchain engineer, IoT engineer, and such, yung mga bago talaga,
Mhm.
mga makikinang na titles, no? Yung mga bago talaga,
Mhm.
hindi mo siya magagawa with just school.
Mhm.
Kailangan mo talaga parang explore talaga online. So, I guess that's one of the realities ngayon sa tech industry.
Kumbaga kailangan natin,
Mag-explore.
yes, kailangan natin mag-self-study
Yeah,
para sa sarili
yeah.
natin. Ganda nun.
Parang side quest
Oo.
talaga.
Sir, sa dami po ng iniisip at binubuo niyo po ngayon,
Mhm.
ano yung ginagawa niyo po outside of work na talagang nakakatulong po sa inyo para makapag-reset?
Reset. I guess, masasabi ko, very, parang conventional yung sasabihin ko,
Mm.
Pero I guess, mahal ko talaga mag-develop. Mahal ko talaga mag-code. And I guess, ang parang hobby ko talaga ngayon is vibe coding.
Mhm.
So, aside from work, na hindi lang kasi pag nagwo-work kasi ako, of course, hindi lang pwedeng vibe code ng lahat. Kailangan mo, titingnan mo lahat. Kailangan mong gawin yung mga best practices and mga parang design patterns, kumbaga. Kung sa, pag third year na kayo malalaman yun. So, yeah, yung mga ganong bagay, kailangan ko siyang gawin. But, in my free time, I do love to vibe code a lot. And sometimes, nag-aano din ako, nagwo-workout din ako. I try.
Mhm.
So, yun, nag-try din ako mag-workout and magpapayat. Sana pumayat ako, no? And all of that. So, ayun, that's what I do. Sometimes, alam mo, pag nagva-vibe code ako, tas may errors, ipapunish ko yung sarili ko na, nagka-error, so 5 push-ups, gano'n. So, that's like one of my,
Grabe yung pag-punish.
strategies ko ngayon para para ma-balance ko lahat.
Opo.
Yeah.
Sir, dahil nakwento niyo po sa akin yung kung paano po kayo mag-reset, sir.
Mhm.
Gusto ko lang po malaman, 'pag nagre-reset po ba kayo, sir, mas dun po ba pumapasok yung idea niyo po, sir?
Mhm.
Sa
So,
mga bagay na ginagawa niyo po ngayon?
So, I guess, ako, mahilig ako kasi sumali sa mga events ng mga hackathons pero hindi ako kasali. Pero you guys know why sumasali ako minsan para manood? Because magaganda yung mga ideas ng mga tao sa hackathons.
Mhm.
So, that's also one way of me resetting. Sumasali ako sa mga events.
Hmm.
So, I'm not just teaching, I'm also learning from those guys na nag-hackathon, developing something. So, it was never just me, learning by myself. It was also learning from others, no? So, yun, sumasali, kunyari, nanonood ako sa mga hackathon, kunyari, 8 hours, puro pitching. Pinapanood ko lang sila lahat. And I internalize with myself ano yung strengths nila, ano yung weaknesses ng product, and all of that. Pina-practice ko talaga yon.
Galing.
Because, one day, siguro, baka, I want to learn how to identify unicorns, identify parang mga disruptors talaga na
Lupit,
ideas, no? So,
lupit.
that's pina-practice ko talaga. So, every time na nanonood ako ng mga gano'n, just know na I always listen and of course, I think yung mga ideas nyo, it was very natututo ako sa inyo guys. Hindi lang kayo natututo sa akin, natututo din ako sa inyo. And if ever nagka-idea ako na very similar sa idea nyo, it means na maganda yung idea nyo. So, yeah.
Sir, maraming nakakakilala po sa inyo bilang Algorex,
Oo.
King of Algorithms. Pero para sa mga taong online, kilala po kayo, sir. Anong side ni Daniel Bagaporomir na yung feeling niyo po, sir, na hindi pa namin nakikita?
Okay.
Gusto namin makilala po
Go.
kayo ng transparent dito
Okay.
po, sir, sa Good to Live podcast.
Siguro, one thing na I always bring as myself, si
Mhm.
Daniel Bagaforomir, was that hindi ako lagi tama.
Mhm.
I was someone na actually nagkakamali and sometimes sa experiences ko sa sarili ko, lagi ako nagkakamali sa parehong bagay,
Mhm.
kumbaga.
Mhm.
So, ako yung parang taong ganun. But I guess that was one of the things about me na tumutulong kay Algorex para mas gumaling siya. Because I guess parang persona ko yung Algorex na, once I have this problem, I know that I'll be able to solve it
Mhm.
and I'll just keep on trying. If ever nagkamali ako, okay lang. I learned something from it and I can loop back and try again. Sana I can try again, no? So, if ever, hindi ako makatry again, hindi kawawa ako. So, ayun. that's one of the things na nabibring ko talaga as Daniel Bagaforomir. And I guess, yeah, that's something na I'm the one na nagtatry lagi.
Mhm.
You know? If ever na turn down ako, parang may ugali talaga ako na parang, maybe there's still hope.
Mhm.
So, ganun talaga ako eh.
Kumbaga importante sir na kailangan mag-try po lagi sir, no?
Yeah. Because, siguro in moments on my life, madaming beses na ganun. Hindi, siguro nakikita online, isang beses lang, nanalo agad ako. Ganun, nanalo agad ako. But siguro behind the scenes, nagkamali ako ng madaming beses before napakita ko yon. And I guess that's a problem with me. How I post online. Pinopost ko lang yung parang achievements ko and yung mga panalo ko. Pero I never post about, yeah. So, ayun.
Habang tumatagal po ba sir, nagbago ba yung meaning ng Algorex para po sa inyo sir?
I guess it did. You know, yung term na yan, yung name na yan, it came from Stack League. So, sa Stack League kasi, kaya King of Algorithms, kasi it's all about, competitive programming. And competitive programming is all about optimizing algorithms. So, lahat ng mga computer science students, they can build algorithms. I'm confident of that. Tama ba? Hopefully, yeah. Unless bina-vibe code na lahat ngayon, no? So, that's one of the things. And fun fact, sa competitive programming, it's actually one of the parang pillars ng, ano ba to? Reasoning models that we have today. So, back in mga 2010, 2020, mga ganon, at those periods in time, yung mga AI companies, nagkukuha talaga sila ng mga data from competitive programmers. And yung mga data na yon,
So parang iniipon.
yeah, iniipon. Iniipon nila. So, paano mag-solve ang isang magaling na programmer ng isang math problem or machine problem and such, So, iniipon yon, and that's one of the foundations that we have today sa mga reasoning models like Opus 5 na meron tayo ngayon, or Mythos 5 or Fable 5, no? Paborito natin yun eh. Di ba?
Bagong update ng Claude yun sir eh.
Yeah. So, yeah, addict din ako sa Claude eh.
Mm-mm.
So, that was one of the pillars, and that's quite interesting because if you think about it right now, after na nagkaroon ng mga reasoning models, it was also the death ng competitive programming. So, parang pinatay ng mga competitive programmers yung sport nila para makagawa ng mga reasoning models. But if you think about it, it was one of the pillars that taught AI how to code really well, So, ayun yung yun yung parang fun fact dun sa competitive programming. Back sa Stack League. So, I guess hindi ko alam yung sa Stack League before, but how I see it based on sa 3 years ko na nagko-compete doon, it was like that. So, parang siyang data gathering na competition talaga. So, behind the scenes, ginagather nila yung mga data ng mga best programmers dito sa Pinas. And yeah, they sell it. Ako naman, I used it as an opportunity to parang learn how to build algorithms. And mind you, nung parang first year ko sa Stack League, meron siyang ranks. Merong bronze, merong silver, merong gold, tapos may master. So, I reached gold at around mga June. And nag-start yung competition, mga February pa. So, I built myself up over those months para maaral ko talaga yung competitive programming. So, nung nag-start talaga ako ng Stack League, wala talaga akong alam. And how I learned it again is through online lang din. So, nakikisabay ako sa mga Indians, sa mga magagaling talaga. Yung mga Russians, Indians, ang gagaling nila mag-code. One day, tayo din, makikita tayo online na naggumagawa ng tutorial, So, yeah. Diba? That's one of my goals din actually. Kasi pag kunyari, Yung sa mga memes, 'di ba?
Mhm.
Pag yung mga savior daw, yung mga Indian, professor online, gano'n, 'di ba? But if one day, tayo naman yung magtuturo, no? So, that's one of my things, no, na gusto kong mangyari. That's why nagtuturo din ako and all. So, ayun, nag I just built myself up and over time, nama-master ko siya. And yun, I keep on trying. I get let down. I just keep on trying. No emotions. I just try. And ayun, over time, ako yung parang nagwagi.
Mhm.
Kasi ano naman yun eh, isang taon yun eh. So, yun yung parang laban ko. I just keep, magta-try lang ako araw-araw. Kukulitin ko lang araw-araw. Tapos,
Kukulitan lang talaga 'no?
yeah. And ayun, nangyari siya.
Mhm.
Nangyari siya.
Mhm.
So, ayun. I can say, as Daniel Bagaforum here, makulit talaga akong tao.
Mm.
But yeah, I have good intentions and I intend to parang, yeah, become, yeah, on top, you know? That's one of the reasons why nangungulit ako and all of that. So, yeah.
Tingin niyo po ba sir, sa bawat competition ngayon, ibig sabihin pala pagalingan na lang pala ng reasoning yung mga programmer ngayon sir?
Depende sa competitions, depende sa hackathon. So, ako throughout the years na sumasali ako sa hackathons, I can classify siguro 3 type of
Mhm.
hackathons.
Mhm.
So, yung first type, which is yung parang mga Malastak League, yung mga hackathon sa Kaggle or yes, Kaggle is a data platform. Parang Facebook siya for data scientists and you can like, yeah, compete with others online.
Mhm.
So, yung this type of hackathon, may metric talaga siya. And yung metric na to, i-improve mo siya sa code mo. And I guess ito yung strength ko na hackathon, I can say.
Mhm.
Because it's all about improving yung code mo. And it's all about, how can I say this? Yeah. It's all about improving the code. It's all about efficiency. And of course, uh, yung luxury to try again and get feedback. That's very important there. And yeah, pag improve talaga ng code. So, I guess that's yung parang proficiency ko talaga, yung pagko-code. Another type of hackathon na I know is, ito yung parang typical hackathon. Merong judge, merong problem statement,
Mhm.
merong MVP or may kailangan nyo mag-build, right? So, dito naman, pagandahan ng presentation.
Mhm.
Pagandahan ng presentation and also applying the technology in the MVP
Mhm.
or yung nyo, parang prototype nyo. Okay? So, once you have both of those, pagalingan na lang ng pag-ask or pag-answer ng questions and all of those. And of course, maybe luck. I can say luck is a very good variable sa mga hackathons because I guess meron tayong judges. Hindi naman AI yung mga judges. No?
Mhm.
Of course, may mga gusto sila and yung mga backgrounds nila is, of course, yun yung parang expertise nila. So you should also know who your judges are. Okay? So that's one of my parang nasa playbook ko talaga. Dapat kilala ko yung mga judges, alam ko yung mga experience nila, and of course, expertise. So I know what they're looking at, you know? Hindi ka naman pwede mag-pitch ng AI agent sa parang psychology major, 'di ba? More, 'di ba? Parang ibang-iba.
Mhm.
So you need to have parang may hint of psychology perhaps sa AI mo para mapa-oo mo sila. So, that's the second type of hackathon. Another type of hackathon, yung third type, na siguro na-experience ko. There could be more types of hackathons out there, mind you, okay? But yeah, this is just mine. So, sa third type, this is yung tinatawag nating ideathon. Siguro, hot take dito sa mga ideathon na to. Isipin mo, hindi mo kailangan mag-build and all of that. You just need to submit an idea. I can say that's quite exploitive. Kasi, yeah, why would you parang gather a lot of ideas and just get 3 of them, you know? So, I try to not join those kinds of hackathons
Mhm.
because, of course, personal interest ko din. Hindi ako magko-code, mag-idea lang ba ako. So, that's not my thing, I guess. And I guess, yeah, yun nga, yun yung parang opinion ko on that one. So, parang hindi ko siya gusto. So, sa idea ton, magbibigay ka lang ng idea, you create a pitch deck, and yeah, ganun ulit, may mga judges and all of that. And yeah, you pitch, and pagandahan kayo ng pitch. So, I guess yung idea ton, ito yung para sa mga tao na, para mga founders talaga, yung mga magagaling talaga, mga charismatic people, kumbaga. So, that's for them, you know? So, that's how I classify hackathons, actually. And yeah, I try to look for hackathons, of course, yung first type. Gusto ko yung may mga metrics talaga. Kasi pagalingan mag-code dun eh. Yun lang naman yung kaya ko eh. So, yeah.
Gusto namin marinig, sir. Paano ba mag-pitch
Paano mag-pitch?
si Sir Daniel
Oh my God!
Bagaporo?
No! Oh, shit.
Gusto namin marinig
Oh, no.
mag-pitch si Sir Daniel Bagaporo
Yeah.
here. Kahit short pitch, sir.
Ano ipipitch ko?
Ikaw bahala,
Oh
sir.
my God.
Kung paano kayo mag-pitch, sir?
Yeah. Siguro, throughout my, the most, yung thing na pinipitch ko lagi, siguro is sarili ko. So,
Mhm.
siguro pag interview, I say like, ano ba, nakalimutan ko na. Hindi ako magaling mag-pitch talaga. So,
si sir,
So, naghahanap talaga ako ng magpipitch para sa akin sa mga hackathons. So, if ikaw na yon hindi talaga ako magaling eh.
Mhm.
Even, nung isang hackathon ko, nauutal-utal ako mag-pitch. And luckily, 9th place ako.
Mhm.
Nakasabit ako. So, ayun. So, yeah, hindi ko talaga kaya. Yeah. Siguro pag talaga ako, may purpose and all of that, I can think of something. Pero, right now, yeah, I need practice. Yeah. So, kailangan ko talaga ng magpipitch para sa akin.
Sir, bago pa yung AI,
Yeah.
nandyan na yung esports and competitive programming sa story nyo po, sir.
Yes. Of course.
Looking back, sir, ano po yung nahubog po sa inyo dahil sa years na competitive po kayo?
Mhm. Siguro nung like mga teen ako, pa lang ako, mga 5 pa lang ata ako, mahilig na ako mag-games.
Mm.
Dota,
Mm.
League of Legends. Tapos, yeah, I do like a lot of mga ganon, yung mga MOBA. So, mahilig ako sa mga ganon, yung mga 5v5 and all of those things. And I guess, siya, very cool and I guess, very exciting siya na parang I get to parang nakakapatay ako ng kalaban, ganon.
Mhm,
Tapos, every time nakakapatay ako, every time na nagpa-farm ako, lumalakas ako. So, yeah, mayroon siyang strategies and all of those things. So, I can build yung mga champions ko to my liking. And siguro, yeah, that's one of my things doon. Kaya mahilig ako doon. And of course, sa school din, mahilig yung mga tao doon.
Mhm.
And that's one of the ways na I got to parang communicate with others. So, if you guys know me in person, very introverted akong tao. And, yeah, it was like, parang saving grace sa akin na magaling ako maglaro and, yeah, I can have friends because of that. So, nung bata ako, parang nahubog sa akin yon na, basta, naglalaro ako and all of that, masaya siya and may mga nagiging kaibigan ako. So, that's how I roll sa school dati. And, yeah. So, with that, parang naging overtime, parang gusto ko pa parang maging top player sa mga games.
Mhm.
So, yeah. One of the games na naging top player ako was actually walang team. So, guys, ako, parang lone wolf talaga ako and, yeah, introverted na tao. Yung, game ko na parang naging esports player ako is called Hearthstone. So Hearthstone is a trading card game na online, and it was one of the innovative card games of all time because again, online siya, and hindi siya you can trade naman, but you can buy packs online. So very expensive na laro.
Mhm.
So yeah, ako mga bata pa ako noon, like mga 14, 13, nga gano'n. Pero mahilig ako mag-card games talaga.
Mhm.
So mahilig ako sa Hearthstone. So how can I get more packs? How can I get more stronger cards for my deck
Mhm.
deck of cards? So with that, nagtatry ako sumali ng mga um competitions sa Hearthstone. So sa competition sa Hearthstone, syempre you bring a deck of cards
Mhm.
online, of course, and you just battle out other players. So ako nung bata ako, gigising ako mga 1 AM,
Mhm.
mga 2 AM, galit na galit yung nanay ko. Tapos, makikipaglaro ako sa mga, kunyari, mga taga-US,
Mhm.
Europe, ganun. Because Hearthstone was not very popular here in the Philippines. More on siya, sa online. Because yung Hearthstone is a card.
Sa ibang country na
oo.
talaga siya, sir.
Yeah. So Hearthstone is actually the card game ng World of Warcraft sa Blizzard Games.
Mhm.
So that was like, ang cool talaga nito. So ayun, compete ako ng compete, and I do get packs. So nakakuha ako ng mga packs, and throughout those years, mga 5, 7 years din ako naglalaro nun.
Ang
So
tagal din.
addict din talaga ako
Ang
dun.
tagal din pala, sir.
Yeah, addict talaga ako dun. So once na isa din sa siguro attitude ng Daniel Baga Forum here is once nagustuhan ko isang bagay, nagtatagal talaga. Like, yun lang talaga yung gusto ko.
Mhm.
So, I guess that's also for programming, no? But yeah, back sa mga sa esports. So, yun, nakakuha ko ng packs, right? Over time, those 5 to 7 years, lumalaki din yung community ng Hearthstone here in the Philippines.
Mhm.
And now, meron ng mga local tournaments. Of course, sumali ako.
Mhm.
And, ayun, very good yung result. Muntikan na ako SEA Games, guys, for Hearthstone. Sayang.
Lapit.
Pero, hindi pa ako ganon. Because, of course, free-to-play player ako. I never bought packs na with my own money or sa pera ng nanay ko. Kumbaga, kasi bata pa ako nun eh. So, yun, nagko-compete lang ako to get packs, to get stronger. So, I guess that's, muntikan na ako mag-SEA Games and all of that. But it never happened. So, that's all right. Masaya pa rin ako na I tried. And after that, merong parang naging parang initiative sa ACAD Arena yung tawag. And naging isa yon sa sa parang categories Hearthstone. So nag-apply ako and I got a scholarship. So parang may stipend ako every month. So I got supported then. And natuwa yung nanay ko and all of that. So and din naman, disiplina ko rin sa sarili ko. Hindi ko ginamit yung stipend na yon to buy packs. But rather for my school. So, that's siguro achievement din para sa akin. na urge ko, anuhan ko yung temptation for that. No? Tapos, after Hearthstone naman, may bago. It was called Legends of Frontera. That one naman, yung card game na yun is sa League of Legends. Okay, so same thing. Si World of Warcraft and League of Legends, naglaban sila for the card game category. So ako, natuwa ako kasi mas madami yung nag-adopt ng Legends of Frontera here in the Philippines. Kasi very popular yung League of Legends. But I guess World of Warcraft was parang pang mga matatanda na. Yeah. Ganon. Kasi very old na game yun eh. But so mga StarCraft, World of Warcraft, mga ganon yung mga nun eh. So, ayun. Yung mga bago ngayon sa Blizzard games, it's Overwatch, It's, Overwatch 2, ganun. So, yeah. So, League of Legends, it was very popular in the Philippines.
Mhm.
So, mas madami yung traction. And sa Legends of Frontera, I was able to pass down my skills from Hearthstone to Legends of Frontera. So here, sa Legends of Frontera, I was able to compete sa global finals nila as, I won't say yung old, IGN ko. Kasi, kasi yung ex ko,
Mhm.
magkapareho kami ng IGN. Konti
Mm.
lang yung variation. So,
Mhm.
yeah. Ano na yun? That's the past. Okay? So, ayun. And then, Algorex na ako. Hindi na ako yung, IGN na yun.
Mhm.
So, yun. I was able to pass down my skills from Hearthstone to League of Legends. And one thing I can tell you guys sa mga card games is that I guess it's all about strategy and it's all about parang sequential pacing. So sa mga sa card games may tinatawag tayong sequential pacing. So
Mhm.
meron tayong value and tempo. So how do you in every move, how do you get ahead of your opponent in terms of those metrics? So I guess that's one of the things na na-internalize ko sa sarili ko
Mhm.
nung bata pa ako, nung teens pa ako. And now, if you think about it, sa competitive programming, sa mga algorithms, there's always a sequence. There's always a better step and there's always a better way to do things.
Galing.
So, I guess one of the things na nag-build talaga sa akin is yung mga games na yun. So, magaling ako mag-games, pero, magaling ako mag-games na card games. And, ko siya, na parang na-pass down ko siya sa competitive programming. So, sa competitive programming, iniisip ko lagi, what's the best way to do this? And sa pag-code natin, there's a lot of ways to do something. Diba? It's an open-ended, parang it's an open-ended craft. Parang siyang painting.
Mhm.
There's a lot of ways to, maraming ways to do art, no? And I guess ganun din sa pagko-code. But there's always going to be parang the most efficient way to do it. And I guess, that's one of the things na parang na-realize ko sa pagka-card games ko. Kahit kahit kunyari yung pagko-code natin, gumagana siya. In the real world pala, sa production, there's always a better way to do it. And dun nagiging labanan ng mga parang big companies. Isipin mo, for something like Facebook, how can they accommodate billions of users worldwide concurrently or in parallel? Ikaw, gumagamit ka ng Facebook, ako nagpo-Facebook din ako. And hindi siya nagka-crash. So, that's thanks to algorithms. That's thanks to, parang, efficiency sa pagko-code. And I guess, in my lifetime, yun yung parang gusto ko talagang i-achieve sa sarili ko. I want to build yung mga systems na ganun talaga. Large scale and madaming gumagamit and all of that. And why is that? Because I spent 3 years. I spent mga 3 to 5 years na rin sa competitive programming. And I don't want to let that go to waste. And for me, parang that's a part of me already, So, if you guys may something kayo na hindi ganun ka-connected sa job nyo or all of that, that's all right. It might be something na you can, parang, there's something out there na parang you internalized and you can still use for other things, So, yeah.
Ganda.
Yeah.
Kumbaga, ang galing nga sir kasi, di ba nung nag-card game po kayo, na-apply nyo pala yun sir
Yeah.
sa programming. Ang galing.
Yeah. So, ayun nga, strategies and all of that. So, ayun.
Ngayon po sir, may habit or mindset ka ba from that time na dala nyo pa rin po hanggang ngayon sa years na na-competitive po kayo?
Yeah. So, I talked about programming or coding being parang an open-ended art. Parang open-ended skill siya. And I guess that's one thing na I want to always let myself understand, let myself parang internalize ko sa sarili ko na yung way ko, the way I do things might not be the best way. The way you do things might not be the best way. And someone's way of doing things might be the best way. So, iniisip ko lagi, how do I learn yung ways ng ibang tao? How do I learn yung strategy ng iba? Because you never know when the moment is right to use your own strategy or what card is yung parang ano yung mga cards sa sleeve mo. So, dapat madami tayong pwedeng parang strategies, no? Madami tayong ways to do something. Because you never know na yung go-to strategy mo, yung go-to way of thinking mo might not be the best way to do that. Kagaya ko, yung parang way of thinking ko ngayon is more on technical and it's more on how I code and efficiency ganon. Pero nung tinanong mo ako mag-pitch na ano ako, parang natumba ako agad, right? So, yung nadala ko today, hindi siya tugma sa podcast natin. So, how do I learn from that? I bring a mindset that's more balanced. So, I guess, that's how I parang ini-internalize ko talaga sa sarili ko. Yung way ko, it's not always the best way. And the best way is out there lagi.
May nabasa po akong post mo po, sir.
Anong post yun?
Where you mention na dumating sa point na naging comfortable na rin yung sunod-sunod na wins.
Nako.
Bilang isang competitor, sir, paano mo po na-realize na kahit nananalo ka pa rin, hindi ka na nag-grow in the same way? Kumbaga pa ulit-ulit na yun.
So, ayun nga, yung mga go-to strategies ko. What if yung go-to strategy ko, lagi siyang tama? And wala na akong natututunan na bago. I'm not learning in this room anymore. Ganun yung nakikita ko sometimes. So, I am enjoying the parang, ako lagi nananalo. But, would you want that? Would you want that na ikaw lagi nananalo, pero you're not growing anymore? I would rather lose. I would rather siguro, lose. I would rather just be listening than doing all the talking. Because at those moments na nakikinig ako, at those moments na natatalo ako, that was like the moments na nakakuha ko ng bagong knowledge, nakakuha ko ng bagong kaalaman. Mas natututo ako, mas lumalaki ako, mas nag-grow ako. So, sometimes I did get trapped in that paradise ng stock league na nanalo ako for 3 years straight. Ano na yung bago? Sa 4th year ba? Buti na lang wala nang 4th year. So, sa isip ko, wala nang 4th year ng stock league. Because that was the moment na hindi na ako umulit sa stock league, hindi na ako nag 4th year. That was the moment na I tried something different, you know? That was the moment na pumasa ako ng BYC. That was the moment na I tried something na mag-grow talaga ako. And I did grow. And I did become so much better so much better than if ever nag 4th year ako ng stock league. 5th year, anong mangyayari sa akin? Ano na ba? Competitive programming na ba? Hindi ba ako mag-grow up? Hindi ba ako mag-level up na yung skill ko sa pag-algorithms, magagamit ko siya for real world products like siguro yung mga portals sa government and all of those. So, I do build yung mga ganun. Sometimes, I do build yung mga mga portals for companies, mga businesses and all of that. What if I didn't grow? What if nandun ako sa competitive programming? Math problem lang ba? So, that's how, yun yung parang naisip ko lagi. I can't get comfortable. I have to go somewhere din na, hindi naman pwede like, nananalo ako lagi. Kumbaga, ano pa lang ako, 22 pa lang ako. May pa ako, may parang babagsak pa ako. Pero hindi naman ganun ka bagsak na.
Mm.
But yeah, it's part of life, and I accept that. So yeah.
Kumbaga,
Oo.
good problems yung nangyayari kay Sir Dan, no? Kasi paulit-ulit na
Yeah.
panalo yung dumadapo sa kanya. Sir, ano po yung naging signal sa'yo na kailangan mo nang humanap ng ibang klaseng challenges based sa nasabi niyo po, sir?
Of course, nung time na yun, kunyari, math problem lang ba or machine problem lang ba yung kaya kong i-solve? What if I can build these solutions for other companies, for the government, and all of those things, 'di ba? So, that's one of the parang nagho-hold back sa akin nung time na yun, nung nasa Stockling pa ako. I do enjoy it, mind you guys. Ang saya manalo. But kung gusto niyo mag-grow talaga, it always happens sa paghihirap. And yun yung natutunan ko eh. And I guess I was quite lucky din na natutunan ko yun, na hindi pala sa pagpanalo, sa paghihirap pala. Parang mas lumalakas ka, mas nalalaman mo yung mga bagay-bagay sa pagko-code. So that's like something na I crave for ngayon. Gusto ko parang naghihirap ako lagi. Gusto ko, I have these problems na very hard to solve. But once I solve it, I know the next ones, may alam na ako on the strategy na gagawin ko para ma-solve ko yun agad. So, yeah. So, how do you identify? Pag of course, yung mo, paulit-ulit ka na nananalo, okay na, yung feedback is always good. Might be, it's the time to parang level up and go to a place, go to a room where ikaw yung parang pinakatanga. Kumbaga, 'di ba? Because if nandun ka sa room tapos ikaw yung parang pinakatanga, you are in that room and you will learn a lot sa mga matatalino doon. Right? So, yeah, it's always a luxury to be on those kinds of rooms. Don't be parang may tinatawag tayo sa sa tech community na imposter syndrome. It's when someone is like paano ba? Naku, hindi ko alam. Joke lang. So, yeah.
Alam talaga ni Sir Dan yun eh.
So, imposter syndrome is all about seeing everyone doing better than you. Right? And of course, at those moments in time, i-compare mo yung sarili mo sa mga taong yun. You are trapped in that cycle of comparison. I-compare mo. But the thing is, i-compare mo lang ba yung sarili mo sa mga taong to? Or maybe you can learn from them, So, yeah, that's parang a very hard thing sa community natin na syempre madami nagsasucceed, nakikita sila and sila lagi yung nagpo-post and all of that. But of course, there will be comparisons. But yeah, at the end of the day, how we learn from these people is, of course, we listen and of course, we have to be in the luxury na tayo yung parang pinakatanga sa room. And mind you guys, I always want to be yung pinakatanga because that's the moment na natututo ako. So, but I'd also give back sa community na nagtuturo din ako. Because, of course, hindi naman pwede yung parang kuha ka lang ng kuha sa community. You need to give back yung mga natutunan mo.
Kailangan palitan
Yeah.
kayo.
Kasi cycle yun eh. Parang parang cycle siya sa community. How would someone succeed sa community? Someone teaches them. And that's what happened to me. Of course, nag-online lang ako. But I also go sa mga events. So, ayun. It's a cycle. And once natuto ka, I hope one day, you'll teach others as well. So, yeah.
Sir, ibig sabihin po pala, comparison is the thief of joy po ba?
I can say, parang, yeah, I can say yes. If you compare yourself to others, there's something good about it as well. Nalalaman mo yung sarili mo in a way na you can see yung parang mga pagkukulang mo and all of that. But if you want to be happy, if you want to, like, let's say, maging masaya ka lang, of course, you don't compare yourself to others, right? You just be contented with yourself. And I guess, siguro, on my end, I do compare myself a lot to, kunyari, sa boss ko, kay Boss Paul Soliman. Idol ko si Boss Paul Soliman. And how I compare myself to him is, kunyari, nung mga nasa Starbucks pa siya, kino-compare ko sarili ko sa kanya, ganito pala si Boss Paul Soliman. Magaling siya mag-ERP and all of that. And I try to internalize yung footsteps niya. So, I can also follow yung parang naging, way niya sa nung gumaling talaga siya. And all of that. Paano siya naging MVP? Paano niya nagagawa ito lahat ngayon? And all of that. Paano niya ako napalaki na parang gumaling din ako?
Galing.
How can I pass that on, right? So, I do compare myself as well, guys. But, again, if you want to be happy, you don't do it. But I guess that's just one of the hard things na you need to do to improve. So, comparison is also very important, you know? But hindi sobra. Dapat kino-compare mo yung sarili mo, you get that information, and you be contented with yourself, tapos learn from that, you know? Dapat, ganun. Parang ini-improve mo rin yung sarili mo. Despite, those things.
Nung pumasok po kayo sa AI, hindi lang siya naging bagong field na gusto nyo pong aralin, sir.
Yeah.
Nakita mo rin siyang paraan para gamitin yung skills mo sa mas practical at real-world na
Of
problems.
course.
Ano yung unang nag-connect sa'yo sa direction na yun, sir?
Okay. Earlier, we talked about 3 types of hackathons, right?
Yes.
So, yung unang type, ito yung favorito kong type, which is yung may mga hackathons na may metrics based sa code. So, sa Stack League, ganon yung type of hackathon. So, every time na I code something, ina-analyze ng Stack League, gaano kabilis nag-run yung code ko. Gaano ka parang efficient na solve. Because I can write one algorithm or 2 kinds of algorithms na ito, 1 second nag-run. Ito, 0.2 seconds or milliseconds nag-run. So, ganun yung parang labanan sa Stack League, pabilisan ng code. So, that's a metric, by the way. So, how do we do that? So, na-realize ko, magaling pala ako sa mga ganong bagay. And, nag-research talaga ako online because yun lang naman yung doon lang ako magaling. So, of course, mag-focus muna ako doon. So, yun, nag-focus ako doon and nag-search ako online. Ano pa yung mga ganun na parang kinds of hackathons? Merong isang hackathon sa Kaggle. So, Kaggle again is yung platform for data scientists. So, if you guys want to learn about AI and mag-compete online din sa mga machine learning problems, ganon, sali kayo sa Kaggle. So, matututo ko talaga kayo doon. So, sumali ako sa Kaggle. And there, basically, gagawa ka ng mga machine learning models. So, mga machine learning models. Tapos may isang tao din doon, gagawa din siya ng machine learning model. Tapos paano kayo? Parang pagalingan kayo ng model. So, kunyari, si model 1, na-predict niya yung, kunyari, ano ba magandang Kunyari, house prices. It's a classic machine learning problem. So, sa house prices, ipipredict ng model, tinatrain mo yung model to predict a price ng isang bahay based sa number of rooms, number of bedrooms, number of washrooms, and whatnot. So, pagalingan kayo ng model doon. Kunyari, yung model ko, it reached 90% accuracy. Tapos si model 2, 91. So, ganun yung
Sa kumbaga sa percentage, sir.
Yeah, percentage siya. So, yung nangyayari doon is, paano niya kaya nagawa yun na 91%? So, yun yung feedback na nakukuha ko lagi sa mga ibang tao. And that's also one way that I compare myself to others, guys. So it's very strategic na, mas magaling yung model niya. Bakit kaya? So I learned from those model. One thing about sa Kaggle kasi, yung code mo is nakikita ng iba. So yun yung naging strategy ko. Nanggagaya ako ng code. Yeah, di ba?
Ganun po pala, sir.
Nanggagaya ako ng code. So kunyari, yung programmer na yun, 91%. Ba't kaya? Gumawa siya ng model na, kunyari, dalawa yung models niya. Tapos yung models na yun, nagjo-join forces sila. Meron palang voting classifier or nagvo-vote yung both models na yun to an answer. So, hindi lang pala isa yung model niya, dalawa, ganun. So, dun, at those moments in time, natututo ako yung mga different kinds of architectures ng mga models or AI. And I guess, yun, gusto ko maging 99.99 yung model ko. Kaya, ayun, titingnan ko talaga yung mga model ng iba. And of course, I try to learn from their strategies as well and make them my own. So, ayun yung nangyari.
Kumbaga, kumuha ng idea si Sir Dan, tas tinitimplahan ni Sir Dan.
Yeah.
Sir,
And I've been doing that
okay,
for like
okay.
3 years.
Mhm.
Mga years na din. And yeah, I'm still learning. I'm still learning from you guys. So, yeah. Galingan nyo. Kasi, kayo din yung nagpapalakas sa akin. So, yeah.
Sisingit ko lang po, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, importante ba na kailangan kulitan ba lagi sa isang bagay? Kailangan ba laging subukan? Kailangan ba laging i-try yung gustong bagay para sa ginagawa ng isang tao, sir?
I guess, I can say dito, not everyone has the energy to do that. And masasabi ko, energy is your most essential currency. Hindi pera, hindi time. It's your energy. Kasi you can have time, pero what if pagod ka? Diba? You don't have the energy to do the same thing all over again. So, it's all about managing yourself then. And of course, parang ako siguro nag-focus ako talaga sa pagko-code. And alam ko sa sarili ko na isang tao lang ako and yung buhay ko, it's very short lang. And I guess I can allot my time and effort on one thing na I will enjoy, I will be good at, and all of those things. And I got lucky dito. So, ayun. So, I try here lagi. And yeah, it's very good for me. Now, for everyone, I guess, yeah, it's very important to try. Always. But I guess it's very important to allocate your energy as well. You know? Hindi lahat ng bagay is, yeah, I guess, yeah, it's a hard truth, no? Hindi lahat ng bagay is para sa'yo. And that's something na I'm also learning sa everyday life ko and all of that. You know, hindi lahat ng bagay para sa'yo. But I guess, for me, how I think about it is, yung mga bagay na para sa akin, it seems like, parang gumagawa ng paraan yung mundo para I will be able to try. So, if you guys nakapag-try pa rin kayo, maybe it's still good, you know? You can keep on trying. You can keep on trying. But sometimes, yung mundo, pag hindi na talaga pwede. Hindi talaga, parang hindi ka na makakapag-try. Maybe that's time to look for something, you know? I do parang believe din sa redirection ng buhay. Like, ako, from, playing video games, na-redirect ako sa pagko-code. And ngayon, I guess, I still love video games, pero I don't have time to do it anymore. And that's okay. I do enjoy what I do right now. And that's okay as well. You know? So, ang masaya yung pag-video games, masaya yung pagko-code. And I discovered now 2 avenues to have fun in, you know? So, I guess that's one of the things na sa luxury of trying and all of that. But also, you have to manage your energy talaga. Because hindi ka pwedeng mapagod sa isang bagay when yung isang bagay na gustong-gusto mo, when what's out there for you won't have the same energy that you have na para talaga sa'yo. So, parang ganun yung naiisip ko lagi, you know?
Ganda.
So, yeah. But if you do have parang the option to still try, tas gusto mo talaga, maybe it's just, you can keep on trying, you know? So, yeah.
Ganda. Yun nga, parang sabi nga ni sir na kailangan lang talaga nating kulitan.
Yeah,
Para sa...
kulitan lang natin.
Mm.
Because, sa tech industry din, very konti na yung, parang opportunities and sobrang daming taong gusto pumasok talaga, you know? And one of the ways na you can like differentiate yourself out there sa tech natin, sa industry natin is of course enthusiasm and of course having parang the energy to pursue, you know? It's not just about, I guess, ginawa ko tong isang bagay. I studied this one. That's it. You have to pursue talaga eh. You have to parang get yourself out there, you know? Hindi lahat ng bagay ibibigay sa'yo. And I guess, that's just, the way it goes.
Mm. At
No?
kailangan mo i-accept yun.
Yeah.
Yes, maganda yun. Ganda nun, sir.
Yeah.
Sa Atlas AI, sir,
Atlas AI. Tanda na nun.
what caught my attention was idea of a planning trip based on someone's vibe
Yeah.
or how they want to feel. Hindi lang kung saan nila gustong pumunta. Sir, paano nyo po naisip yung approach na yun?
Yeah.
Ang ganda nun, sir.
Actually, a little bit of background din dun.
Mhm.
The reason why I built Atlas AI was for me to learn more about agentic AI, and parang sa agentic AI, there's something that we call intent classifier. Intent classification pala. So intent classifier is the model. Intent classification is the concept. So sa intent classification, dito pumapasok yung pag-intindi ng AI sa intent mo talaga. It's not just in the way you parang, gusto ko pumunta sa Cebu. Pumunta sa Cebu. Of course, kung ganun lang yung nakasulat and ganun the way na naintindihan ng AI, of course, siguro, i-route ka niya sa mga katayan ng lechos, ganun. sa,
Yan, ang lawak na Cebu eh.
Cebu, yung mga ganun, di ba? yung mga, Diyos ko. Yeah. So, yung mga ganung bagay, di ba? Punta ka siguro sa beach, mga ganun.
Mhm.
Sa, I don't know, anywhere. Yan, yung mga ganun. But what if, AI was going a step further and it can understand your intent, parang, the way you say things. Yeah, sabihin ko, I want to go to Cebu to parang, find the meaning of life, mga ganun. I'm, Daniel Bagaforum, or I am a tech professional, mga ganun. So, with that, nako-customize na yung parang, yung mga ng AI. Yung pagbigay ng answer ng AI. And it will be based on you talaga.
Sa personality talaga.
Personality na talaga. You know? So, nung time na yon, that was around mga 2025. Mga 2025 yon. And that was like December. So, very yung agentic AI. And that, mga parang Opus 4? Opus 4 pa yun, no? I don't know. I forgot. But yeah. So, at those moments, parang umuusbong pa yung AI sa mga intent, sa word na intent. So, I tried my best and ayan, yung na-try kong gawin. So, for me, nung time na yan, parang siya, innovation for me. Because, isipin mo yung AI, nakakapag-pinpoint siya ng location, nakakapag-geocode siya, and, nakakapaggawa siya ng parang places where you can go pag may trip ka based on how many days, how many nights, and all of those things. So, that was quite cool for me. And tell you guys, in the next 6 months, kaya nang gawin ni Claude yon mag-isa in one prompt. So, ganun kabilis. Kagaling ng AI.
Mhm.
So, I never got to monetize that, but it did get, yung Claude, gumaling siya, and nagagawa na niya yan in one prompt. So, that's one of the experiences ko sa pag-build ng Atlas actually. So, siguro kung ako, kunyari Daniel Bagapapa lang ako, wala akong growth mindset, nagalit ako sa Claude kasi, syempre, parang ginaya niya yung idea ko. Tapos, ako, parang matagal kong ginawa yan. Like, mga 2 months. Tapos, isang prompt lang kay Claude, in the next 6 months, nagagawa na niya. But, that's the reality ng AI. You know? That's the reality ng industry natin. And I guess, for simple innovations like that, magagawa ng mas malalaking isda sa taas. So, yung sino yung mga isda na yun? Yung mga Microsoft, yung mga Claude, yung mga ganyan, di ba?
Bilis.
So, magagawa talaga nila yun. And we have to accept that. And I'm also actually at awe na nagawa nila yun. And maybe, feeling ko lang, baka nakatulong ako, kaya nagagawa nila yun, because ginamit ko rin naman yung AI nila to build yung product na yun. So, that's yung Atlas AI, that's actually a vibe-coded, na AI. So, hindi ko siya parang binild from scratch, but rather I used AI to build the AI model. So, ayun.
Sa
Grabe.
Leafguard
Dami.
sa Leafguard AI naman po, sir. Naging clear ka from the start na fictional startup and portfolio project siya.
Yes.
Sir, bakit importante sa'yo na maging honest about what the project was habang ipinapakita mo rin kung ano yung kaya nitong maging?
Yeah. I guess siguro sa mindset ko din talaga. I can say na I'm a very good employee. You know, I do find comfort in that. Na I am a follower and I am a very good employee. I'm a very good worker. And actually that's one of my strengths, you know. I don't see myself as a founder. I don't see myself as someone na face na isang company. And let me tell you, sa tech community ngayon, a lot of people, they want to be founders, they want to be, di ba, yung parang glamorous na, na parang mga tech founders and all of those things. Yung
Sobrang
mga
dami,
nag-found,
sir.
sobrang
Dami.
dami. Right? Ako, I do find comfort na ako yung taga-build mo. Ako yung taga-implement and all of that. Because, I guess that's what I do best, you know? And I am humble enough to understand na that's where I shine and that's where I guess, paano ba? Parang dun talaga ako meant to be. You know, I build stuff. And that's where, that's where I do things. So, kaya ako sinabi fictional founder is because I want to sell myself as more of a CTO, more of a builder, na tagagawa mo and all of that. Because that's where I, do things the best. And I guess, naiisip ko rin, I'm trying to have this team mindset na din na, I can't do all of these things by myself. I would do better if merong isang founder and ako yung nagbi-build. So, that's one of the things na natututunan ko rin sa pagtatrabaho ko, you know. So, what does that mean? It means na, how I sell myself is that, the product that I sell is myself at the end of the day. Hindi yung Leafguard, hindi yung Atlas. At the end of the day, it's my capabilities to build those things. Okay? So, portfolio project siya because, it's something that I show to people and all of that. Actually, sa Leafguard na yan, from portfolio project, may naging interested na landscaping, parang business to use that AI para sa, pag, pag i-improve ng mga, nila, clients nila sa mga subdivision. So, there'll be more news on that soon. Pero, ibang, na yun, ibang pangalan na yun, hindi na leaf guard siguro. But you never know. So, that's a different problem, So, ayun. Again, at the end of the day, ako yung product. But, not leaf guard, not Atlas, not the, projects, It's me. That's how I see myself.
Kasi si Sir Dan talaga.
Developer talaga ako. Builder talaga ako, guys.
Mhm.
So, yun. So, if founder kayo, kailangan nyo ng, builder talaga na, gagawin lahat. Baka naman, joke lang. Ito ba ako, guys?
Sir, napansin ko rin na hindi po kayo nakakulong sa isang type ng problem.
Mhm.
You've explored agriculture, satellite imagery for oil spill detection, and ngayon autonomous AI agents. Sir, ano yung usually yung meron sa isang idea para makuha talaga yung curiosity nyo po, sir?
Siguro, siguro for me, I do go into this, parang na-obsessed talaga ako sa isang idea. Kunyari, dati, obsessed ako sa pag-detect ng sakit sa mga leaves. Kaya may leaf guard AI. Because naging obsessed ako doon. And then after that, naging obsessed din ako sa Blue Sentry AI. That was about detecting oil spills. Why did I get obsessed with that? Because I guess I was exposed sa community. And sa, nung time na yun, nung nagka-Blue Sentry AI, that was when meron sa, Data Engineering Philippines, merong partnership. Yung partnership na yun is with, nakalimutan ko. Wait lang. Yun, Code Sydney. Very old na kasi. Code Sydney is, founded by Boss and Grammar Bolas. So, shout out sa'yo, boss. And siya, OFW from Australia. And is very established doon sa community sa OFWs in Australia. So meron silang initiative called Code Sydney, and basically they look for citizen developers and all of those things. And they have these data sets. Ako, nagtitingin of course, mga data. That was something na I can learn from, So, of course, reach out ako. And nakita ko yung mga oil spill, satellite images. Mind you, hindi ka makakita ng mga ganun on a daily basis. It's quite rare, actually.
Lupit.
Yeah, it's quite rare. And hindi mo rin siya makikita sa Kaggle or mga online platforms. So, it was a very good opportunity for me to build this very unique product na pagdidetect ng mga oil spill based sa data na yon. And I use that knowledge, I use that opportunity to learn about mga, how to process satellite images. So, how did I do that again? Online lang din. And of course,
Seryoso, sir?
online lang din.
Lupit!
Online lang talaga. Kasi nung time na yun, makakakuha ka ba ng course intro to satellite imagery? Siguro sa NASA. Right? Sa,
So,
ibang
parang
bansa.
inipon nyo yun, sir,
Yeah,
no?
inipon.
Galing!
So, I just learned.
Galing.
Yeah, I just learned online. And of course, become obsessed with, na matututo ako sa ganito. Satellite images and all of those things. And all of that. So, ayun, I learned, and it took me like 6 months to do that. And, from, before, yung meron lang ako is the model. Hindi pa ako magaling mag-website nun eh. Kasi, actually, kung titignan mo yung Leafguard tapos Blue Sentry, ang papangit ng website for today's standards. Di ba? Hindi siya yung parang, yung mga vibe-coded websites na yun, sobrang ganda, may mga kumikinang-kinang and all of that, di ba? Pero yun, it was very, parang very stale. It was very, hindi pa ganun ka vibe-coded yun eh.
Mhm.
So, parang that was one of the most genuine projects that I built na ako lang talaga. And yeah, how I did that was that from integrating the model, inaral ko naman paano i-integrate yung model sa website. So, little by little, tinuturuan ko sarili ko how to parang process satellite images, how to process or how to integrate a model na gano'n sa website, mga gano'n lang. So, from those small lessons, natututo talaga ako to build much bigger systems. So, yun.
Grabe sir, no? Parang sa online nyo din po pala na, no? Tapos parang iniipon nyo po yung mga ideas na yun. No?
Yeah.
Tapos hanggang sa nakagawa si sir ng oil spill
Yeah.
detection. Lupit! Lupit, sir.
So, yun, just keep on trying. Again, di naman one day na panalo ka agad. You just keep on, getting there. And you will reach that, destination, di ba? Yep.
Along the way po, sir, hindi ka lang po nag-build. Nagsimula ka rin po magturo, sir, through workshops
Yep.
and bootcamps. Sir, ano yung natutunan nyo po sa teaching na hindi mo po makukuha kapag ikaw lang yung nag-aaral or gumagawa?
Uh-huh. So, I learned some things. Ano yun, sa pyramid of, parang learning. May parang pyramid yan eh. May libro yan na parang pyramid siya.
Mhm.
And, sa tuktok nun, yung pinaka ways to internalize something is to teach it to others. So, that's the luxury of being the educator. So, that's one of the advantages, guys, okay? But, that is based on a book, on a mindset, and that can, pwede naman nagturo ka na isang bagay pero wala ka natutunan. That can happen. But for me, I guess, yung libro na yon na sabi, pag nagturo ka ng isang bagay, mas natututunan mo pa lalo. Because you are accommodating on different learning styles, basically. Yun yung parang logic nila doon. So, for my case, I guess that's true. That's true for me. And that's that's the reason why I also teach. Because again, introverted na nga ako. Tapos parang taong bahay pa ako. Hindi pa ako marunong communicate with others. So that was one of the ways that I taught myself on being who I am today, no? Isa 'yun sa 'di ba, public speaker ako lagi, right? So I always challenge myself to speak online pwede rin, or speak on stage and stuff like that. Because again, it's one of my weaknesses, I can say. So yeah, again, gusto ko naghihirap ako lagi so I can learn. So it's not just me who's benefiting here. It's not just you guys from nagbe-benefit kayo sa pagtuturo ko. It's also me benefiting from you guys because natututo din ako on how to teach, how to communicate myself better, and all of those things. So, again, give and take siya. And, I will be, doing this for a lot more years, Yun.
Sir, I also came across your involvement with Data Engineering Pilipinas.
Yeah.
As a moderator, coming from a competitive background, sir, kamusta po yung transition from trying to improve yourself to helping other people to improve too?
Yeah. So, for me, yung transition ko there was that, it's very, pa ako, 22 years old pa lang ako, tapos parang nagtuturo na ako.
Galing,
Parang
diba? Lupit.
parang very weird experience siya actually. Because sometimes, magtuturo ka, mas matanda sa'yo, and all of those things. How would you, teach those people, So, I learned na parang how I do things, parang yung pag-rapport ko and all of those things. Yeah, I learned early on different ways to do it, So, from transitioning na ako yung nagbe-benefit sa community to me giving back to the community, it was actually very challenging, I don't know how to give value to you guys because, again, I was trained. I was it's ingrained in me to take from the community. Because, of course, ako yung nagpa-participate sa hackathon, ako yung sumasali sa mga competition and all of that. But I was never the one who teaches. But, as again, ako yung, pag ikaw na yung lagi nananalo, maybe it's time for you to give back to others as well. So, how did I transition from being a community leader? So, actually, yung first time ko mag-public speaking was actually from Stock League din. Sila na mismo yung ikaw naman lagi yung nananalo. Why not? Kasi nagka-partnership sila. Meron silang partnership na called na Code Your Future. And that was something na initiative siya ng DICT. So, dun ako parang tinrain how to teach, how to speak in front of people and all of those things. And actually, that was one of the most challenging parts of Stack League for me. It was never about coding yung mga problems. It was actually about, how can I say this? Parang, pag-face ko sa mga tao, how do I, paano ba yun? How can I say that? Yung parang, paano ba yung pagdadala ko sa sarili ko in front of others? Yeah, present myself in front of others. I don't know how back then. So, yun, tinuturuan talaga ako. May mga workshop yun eh. And after that workshop, nagturo ako online first sa mga, kunyari, Mindanao, sa Visayas, mga gano'n. And I was like teaching yung mga very simple lang, hello world in Python. So, on those moments in time, mas nahasa ako on how to give back to the community, you know? On those simple moments na pagtuturo ng hello world sa mga bagong estudyante, sa mga tao na hindi marunong mag-code and all of that, I was able to have this luxury of learning how to give back. So, that's how, how I got here. Na parang ang galing naman ito magturo and all of that.
Mhm.
Well, I started from a very, parang informal na and from there, parang binibuild up ko lang din sarili ko.
Mhm.
So, ganun lang yung nangyari.
Sir, habang mas maraming tao yung nakakakita at sumusubaybay sa work or naging projects mo po, sir, ano yung pinaka nagulat ka sa experience na mas nakikilala ka dahil sa mga ginagawa niyo po?
Siguro, when kaya yun? Siguro yung what's this? Parang kinabahan talaga ako
Mhm.
was that yung first year ko sa Stock League. Alam nyo ba, nung first year ko sa Stock League, hindi ko pinapakita ang mukha ko. So, nagko-code lang talaga ako. And I never, show myself online. So, there was this moment na, syempre nanalo ako. Hindi ko alam na imi-media pala yun. And, parang pa yun eh, pandemic pa yun eh.
Mhm.
So, nakamask ako and all of that. Hindi ko alam paano i-represent sarili ko. And, at those moments in time, I never, siguro na-document yun na hindi ako marunong on how to sa pagdadala ng sarili ko, how to present myself. But it was just genuinely who I am.
Mhm.
And very introverted ako and all of that. So, very shocking for me. Yan. But I guess it didn't discourage. It didn't, hindi naman ako natakot and all of that. I just kept on trying because I guess at the end of the day, nananalo ako ng parang pera dun eh. So, I was also rewarded for what I was doing, you know? And I guess that's also very important sa i-improve ng sarili mo. You also have to reward yourself in some way, you know? It can come from others, but it also can come from yourself, you know? So, ayun.
Sir, what is success for you?
Success for me. Siguro, success for me, it can, iba-iba tayo ng versions of success, right? Siguro sa akin, it was at the moment na makakapag-build ako ng different systems all around the Philippines. So, ngayon, I'm in the process of that. So, nagbi-build ako ng system for this company and all of that. So, parang consultant. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, I guess yung mindset ko talaga, guys, is pagbi-build talaga. Hindi siya yung parang, I founded this company, ganyan, ganyan. I just want to build. So, success for me is if I can, kunyari, pupunta ako sa mall, sasabihin ko, did you know ako yung gumawa ng POS niyan? Did you know ako yung gumawa nung, what's this? Nung AI agent nila, ganito, ganyan. Siguro, that's for me. Gusto ko, I just want to spread yung parang code ko everywhere. Because, I guess, yun lang talaga yung gusto ko. Gusto ko lang talaga mag-build. Gusto ko lang, and I guess that's like my purpose talaga. And I enjoy doing that, So, ayun. Gusto ko talaga, like, yun. For this company, akong gumawa ng AI agent nila. Yung clock na yan, baka ako yung nag-code niyan, ganun. Yun na yung, ko, parang, yeah, yung premonition of success ko. Gusto ko lang gumawa talaga.
Kumbaga, ang gusto ni Sir Dan, kalat yung mga
Yeah, code.
craft niya.
Yeah.
Galing, sir. Sir, ang lupit.
So, yun lang gusto ko.
Sir, sa journey mo po, iba-iba rin yung fields na na-explore mo mula AI at machine learning
Yes.
hanggang blockchain at engineering. Sir, sa ngayon, ano yung mas gusto nyo pong pagtuunan ng oras?
Nako. Nako. Well, I do love AI, but I guess natututo pa rin naman ako sa AI kahit papaano. Like, yeah, I'm still learning even today on how to build mga agent systems and all of that. But I do enjoy blockchain as well. I guess it's all about me exploring talaga yung mga different technologies out there. Like, I guess, isa din sa, mga roadmaps ko sa, sa BYC. Kasi, meron kaming mga parang, KPIs per, employee, wherein parang may growth map talaga kami.
Mm.
So, isa sa mga, ko, is learning, zero knowledge or ZK, mga ganon. And, mga homomorphic encryption.
Kumbaga, sir,
and
parang
mga,
minomonitor din talaga kayong lahat, sir.
Hindi naman. Like, lang, parang, what, we can improve on and what we can explore while working, Kasi, syempre, malalakas kami. Kailangan din namin mag-aral. Kailangan din namin mag-workout, no? And all of that. So, that's one of the things na I'm trying to, I guess, learn. Zero knowledge, privacy-preserving AI. Mga ganun. Mga, very shiny yung mga pangalan. But I also want to learn about quantum computing. Kasi wala pang quantum computing dito sa Pinas. It's a very small community. And I want to try to parang, join that community as well. And maybe code something, a thing or two, and stuff like that. So, ayun. So, AI, blockchain, tas quantum computing. Pero focus ako ngayon sa, zero knowledge. So, privacy, mga ganun.
Sir, last two
Encryption.
questions.
Okay, sure.
Sir, sa ngayon, ano yung next challenge na gusto nyo pong piliin para sa sarili nyo po? Hindi dahil kailangan, pero dahil gusto mong malaman kung hanggang saan mo siya kayang dalhin, sir.
Ano kaya? Here's ng question I guess I do have a lot of different challenges sa different aspects of my life as of the moment. Siguro, what would be really nice is that from being a lone wolf, from being, very loner type kasi ako eh. What if I can, siguro, maybe, I can parang teach someone, just one person, isa lang muna, na magiging, matutubuan ko talaga and I can depend on na, sa matuturuan ko sa community and all of those things. And maybe we can, build something, really good together and all of that. So that's something na hindi ko pa nagagawa. Because again, lahat ng mga nakita mo, it's always just me. Right? It's always just me and the community. But yeah, never a team of 2, never a team of 4, and stuff like that. I work really well. I can say I work really well alone. But I've yet to learn how to work really well on a team. So, I can work, sa trabaho ko, I can work really well sa team, pero hindi ko pa naranasan yung ako yung talagang, how can I say this? Ako talaga yung parang de facto leader of everything. Sa BYC, I am the leader pag sa mga AI integration, mga ganun. But I still need help from, of course, mga higher-ups ko, ganun. I still need those. So, yeah, that's something na I'm trying to learn. No? How can I be dependable sa skill ko? And yeah, being the talaga. So, yeah, I'm still on that part, I can say.
Sir, bago ko po itanong yung last question,
Ano yung last question?
kilala ka ng mga tao po, sir, as Algorex, King of Algorithms,
Yes.
competitive programmer, AI builder, lahat ng yan, sir. Sir, kung tatanggalin lahat ng yun sa inyo po, walang coding,
Yeah.
walang tech, sino si Daniel Bagaporomir?
I guess, at the end of the day, if wala yung pagko-code sa akin, I can say na I'm just a person who tries. I just try what's in front of me. I just take the opportunity that's on my table. And right now, even when I play as Algorex, when I present myself as such, at the end of the day, yung mannerisms ni Daniel Bagaforomir, all the opportunities that's given to me, I make sure that those, hindi sila parang, they're not taken for granted of. They were there for a reason, Nandun sila for a reason, and I don't want anything na that's given to me na mag-walk away just to, parang, umalis na lang, napagod na, kakaantay and all of that. I want to make sure na everything na is on my table, it's taken into account for. That's just who I am, That's how I got here. Kasi yung opportunity is dumating sa table ko. And of course, ako naman, I always make sure na despite my heavy schedule, despite my very busy schedule, I always make sure na I do have this moments of time, pockets of time for wonder and whatnot. I always make sure na may oras ako para sa mga unexpected na dadating sa buhay ko. Because you can never know when that will happen, and you'll never know na baka yun na yun. Yun na yung bagay na yun na magdadala sa'yo to where you want to be. You never know. And that was my experience, guys. So, I just, make sure. Because, parang, trap yan eh. Na parang busy ka lagi. You'll never have moments in your time na you'll pursue wonder. You'll never have moments in your time na you'll pursue something na dumapo sa buhay mo. And that's one of the things na I don't want to lose track of, I don't want to be too busy when something goes into my life na hindi ko makukuha because busy na ako. I want to make sure na I'm always ready to answer the call. So, yeah. That's just who I am.
Kaya,
Ayun.
kaya kailangan pag may opportunity talaga na lumalapit, sir, kailangan i-grab din talaga
Yes.
natin agad, sir.
Of course. Baka may ibang kukuha dyan.
Totoo, sir. Totoo. Actually, sir, yung question na yan, nanggaling yan to my close friend, Mark
Mark
Shason.
Saison.
yung
Hi.
question na yun. Kaya gusto ko na i-acknowledge sa kanya yung question. At sobrang dami ko pong natutunan sa inyo po, sir, sa episode na to,
Yes.
sa podcast na to, sir. At
Mhm.
grabe, sir, hindi ko akalain na may interview ko po kayo,
Mhm.
sir. And sobrang bilis. Parang,
Mhm.
grabe, sir. Parang last time na nagkaroon tayo ng interaction, sir, sa
Seryo.
Celio, sir.
Yeah,
So,
nag-ano lang tayo, nag-shake hands lang tayo.
literal, sir.
Kasi may
Parang,
kasama ako nun eh.
mm,
Pero ayun.
literal, so,
But I
sobrang,
do wanted to talk to you as well.
sobrang
Yeah.
sobrang kumpulan yung mga tao sa inyo nun, sir. So, sabi ko, hindi ko maano si Sir Dan. Pero, that time, naikwento na po kayo sa akin ni
Mhm.
Mark, my dear friend. Sir,
Yeah.
last question.
What's that question?
Sa dami ng wins, goals, at bagong challenges na hinabol nyo po, sir, paano mo nalalaman na yung chase mo ngayon is still taking you somewhere meaningful, at para sa mga taong nasa sarili nilang chase, ano yung sana hindi nila makalimutan habang hinahanap nila yung direction nila, sir?
Okay. Siguro, right now, I'm joining a lot of things. I'm doing a lot of things as well. And again, I'm trying to, just get there. And I guess how I know it's meaningful was that, despite it's just me, despite it's just, myself na I'm pursuing these things, because I really want the thing that I'm pursuing right now, is that, I guess, may iba akong natuturuan. Like, hindi lang ako yung mag-isa na ngayon na nagpe-pursue. Merong ibang sumusunod sa akin, and natuturuan ko din sila. I also help them out, and all of those things. I know na I'm at the right place at the right time, when moments na hindi dapat parang hindi siya tumutugma. Pero at the end of the day, nangyari siya. I know I'm at the right moment when I know na yung mga efforts ko, they're not just wasted. They are amounting to something much bigger, And I guess that's just me, if you guys know, parang very hopeful ako na tao.
Mhm.
Parang hindi ako nawawalan ng pag-asa. And I just keep on, running around. running around. But, from those moments, na-realize ko na nakukuha ko na pala yung isang bagay. And the universe, the world itself, is trying to parang make a plan to make that happen. And I guess that's just one of my coping mechanisms na yung world nagtatry din siya to make ways to make that happen. And I guess that's a very good mindset for me, because when things don't go my way, when things look bleak na, I just keep on trying. And at the end, I guess nagkakatugma-tugmaan, and I guess makukuha ko siya. And that's just my mindset, guys. And I hope, ayun, yung mga tao na nata-turn down at the first failure and all of that, I hope you guys don't get discouraged and all of this. Maybe that's just how things go, Because kung maganda ang isang bagay, kung very important ang isang bagay, hindi yan ibibigay sa'yo agad-agad. Right?
Totoo, sir.
Yeah. Itetest ka talaga. And hopefully,
Susubukin ka talaga
Yeah.
kung gaano mo kagusto eh.
Yeah.
No?
kung gusto mo talaga isang bagay, pagsusubukan ka talaga. Ang daming pagsusubok. And hopefully, I am enough to get there. And hopefully, you'll be enough to get there. So, I'll see you there.
Grabe, sir.
Yeah.
Dami kong natutunan. Kung hihimayin nyo
Yeah.
yung naging conversation namin ni
Yeah.
Sir Dan na about sa pag-suffer, na mas gusto ni Sir ng challenges dahil mas doon na nagkakaroon ng growth.
Mhm.
So, at yung pagtatry na
Uh-huh.
talagang susubukan mo talaga. Kailangan mo talagang subukan, kulitan sa bagay na gusto mo. And yun, sobrang galing.
Yep.
Sir, sobrang thank you po.
Yes.
Sobrang nagpapasalamat po ako na
Thank you as well.
grabe, hindi ko po
Yeah.
talaga, sir, na-expect po talaga to, sir, na makasama ko po kayo sa podcast. So, sir, sobrang thank you po. Sir, bago natin tapusin ang podcast, sir, di ba? Social media, sir.
Yeah, you guys can follow me sa LinkedIn. I am AlgorexPH, and of course sa Facebook naman. I also go by Daniel Bagaforomir. I always see you guys sa events and all of that. Please don't be afraid to say hi and all of those things. Mabait naman ako. Pero ayun, sometimes it's just that, yeah, very madaming tao and all of that. But yeah, I want to meet everyone. And of course, yeah, let's connect online. So yeah.
So, yun, bago ko tapusin ang Go to Live Podcast, available ang Go to Live Podcast sa YouTube, Spotify, at Apple Podcast. At meron na ring website, gotolivepodcast.com. So, pwede nyo i-check yung iba't ibang guest, description ni guest, timestamp na pwede nyong balikan na napag-usapan namin ni guest. So, yun, sir, maraming po salamat sa
Yes.
sa episode na po to, sir. Grabe, sobrang thank you po talaga, sir. Grabe.
Yeah,
Sobrang
thank
thank you, sir. Thank you po. Thank you.
Yeah, Filipino, na my dream. Filipino,